Today we're coming back to you from 4 years ago. We did a video about one of our very first tools that we showed and shared on our channel. It's called a cut hub. And if you learn a little something about chop saw stations, click that subscribe button. So what is a cut hub? A cut hub is a chop saw station that you can set up. It's modular. It comes in several different parts, and then you put it together to configure it the way you want to use it. So every time we set up on a new job site, we may set up our cut hub in a different configuration depending on what we're doing with it. So because we're under a carport and it's clean and dry under here, we've set our station up to have one chop saw. We also have an option over here for another chop saw, which we can bring out and put in, and it's undercover as well. And then we set up our table saw on the very end of the cut hub, which is also an awesome place. It's like an extra outfeed table that's onto your table saw, and then it just allows you to run materials, lengthy materials, no problem across several different sections. So the cut hub basically, it's like a sawhorse kind of. It unfolds. You can adjust all the heights on all the legs. So they lock in right here. You can adjust the heights of each table individually, and then they connect together with these two rails. And there's like a push button locker that locks into different various positions on the rail. And then you can connect as many of these together as you need for depending on how many chop saws you have. So there's also a built-in ruler into the table. I personally don't use those too much, but some of you may. I know a lot of framers that use this system do. I usually don't. It's just something I don't really use a whole lot of. There's also some really handy outfeed tables that you can get. We have several of these, and they lock in to the rail system as well. And then the chop saw mounts to the rail on a plate. Now, this is the old style clamp. We have the new style clamps coming. They're not in yet, but these ones have been working fine. Like I said, we've had this system for 4 years. And what this video is really about is just telling you the longevity of this tool, because it's not a cheap investment. You can spend up to $5,000 outfitting your cut hub, maybe even more, depending on how many sawhorses you have and need and accessories that you use. One of the nice accessories that we have on this one is this material gauge stop. So if you have a length of material that you need to do repetitive cuts, you can set it up to whatever length it is, lock this down, and butt your materials right up against this rail. If it's closer to the chop saw and you can't make it, you have this flip stop that also can come across, and you can adjust it for this area in here that maybe you need some short blocks and you can't do that with this. You have this flip stop right here that comes out, and it'll make that easier for you to handle. And then you can flip it out of the way if you need to make a standard cut, and in case you are doing multiple jigging and you have somebody else using the saw for another reason, it's nice to have the ability to flip this back and forth so you don't have to necessarily move the jig every time, and you still have that length locked in. So cool product for that. They've lasted a very long time. There are a few parts and pieces that have loosened up or we've lost. There's some tensioning devices that go over here onto these screws that lock in, that tighten up on the rails. We've lost most of those, but we find that we really don't use them either. Once you lock the pins in on the spring-loaded pins, this thing doesn't move. The only time I'd really be concerned is if I was on a hill or something and things were moving around or something crazy like that, or things were pulling apart for some reason, is why I'd want to lock those levers in. But we don't really use them anyway, so no harm, no foul for us. But besides that, it's probably the first tool we set up, and it's the last tool that we break down on every job, and we just stash them in our trailer, and then we get to the next job site, and the first thing we do is figure out, okay, where are we putting the chop saw, where are we putting the cut hub? We get that set up, and then that's our station. For us, because we use PVC decking a lot, we can cut big joists and beams and all that on here, but we cut a lot of flimsy materials. And that's what this excels at, because it's such a nice flat rail that goes across here. Once you get it dialed in, you just can put your materials up here, and you don't have to worry about things flopping over on the ends. You know, it's just a nice flat surface that we use for our chop saws. I have to give this a thumbs up. It's still rocking. So when we first got the system, we didn't know how much production we'd get, how much more production we'd get out of it versus it just being a standard chop saw stand. And I have to admit, I think that our productivity when we use a chop saw with this system has increased by 30%. It's that much faster than any other system I've had. As a matter of fact, I use this so much, I really don't want to set up a job site without it. So I'll let that sink in for a minute. We use this system religiously. It's been the best investment. We've made our money back on it. It's been one of the best investments I've made for as far as tools go in my arsenal. It takes up a little bit of space in our trailer, but it's well worth having. We store it vertically. They actually send out some really cool plywood boxes. If you have the room in your trailer to put them in, then all the cut hubs store in. We didn't have room for that in our trailer. We set them up vertically in the door well, all 4 pieces. So we have 3 for our chop saws, and then we have an individual table saw stand that we can use separate from the cut hub. So sometimes we use it separately, sometimes we use it together. It just really depends. But it's something we use on every project. We use a table saw and chop saws all on the cut hub system. I can't say enough good things about it. I really appreciate and use it all the time. I'm a professional deck builder, and it makes me a better deck builder by having this product. Cut Hub originally sent us this unit to try, and they let us keep it, so I feel very privileged for that. But I'm not sponsored by the company, so I can tell you anything I want about this product. I've told you mostly what I thought about it. I said there was some good things, and probably the one negative is, like I said, the loosening of the tensioners on the rails. But for us, that's not a deal breaker, man. We really like this product, and we are going to continue to use it for as long as I'm building decks. So that's your update for the Cut Hub from 4 years ago. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.